Games put you in the shoes of many different characters, allowing you to do things you would have never imagined doing in the real world. This time, Grant puts himself in the mindset of a thief as the new Thief game franchise gets another reboot.
The Thief series has been around since 1998 and has seen a number of iterations. It made its mark as the first stealth game that was taken from a first-person perspective, something that was usually reserved for run-and-gun action games. Let's take a trip down memory lane and recap the Thief series. Released in 1998, Thief: The Dark Project blew up the gaming world. Take into account the environment it was released into. Half-Life had just been released, revolutionizing the traditional shooter. It arguably took a lot of Thief's spotlight, but it hasn't removed the influence Thief had on the industry. Allowing you to trawl medieval castles as a sneaky thief, the objective of the game switched the focus from killing everything in sight to sneak up on dudes and rob them. The game received massive critical acclaim with an average Metacritic score of 92%. That's not where the success stopped. At the turn of the century in the year 2000, Thief 2: The Metal Age hit shelves. Released on PC, Thief 2: The Metal Age used the same engine as the original Thief, with incremental improvements to graphics, mostly in the lighting department. Playing up the steampunk flavor in the medieval world, a few gameplay introductions took place, most notably a remote eye, allowing more technology into the plot. Although scoring highly, The Metal Age saw a lower Metacritic score than its predecessor, sitting at 87%. 2004 eventually comes around, and with it sees the release of Thief: Deadly Shadows. Deadly Shadows was released on both Xbox and PC and used a brand new engine. I mean, enough time had passed, right? The funny thing is that it used a modified version of the Unreal Engine used to create a game called Deus Ex: Invisible War, a first-person stealth series that could probably trace its conceptual roots back to the original Thief. Open world-like areas were introduced, as well as the option to play in the third person. Its final Metacritic score ended up being 85%, a still high and respectable number, showing that the series still had what it takes 6 years after the original's release. A decade later, a Thief reboot has finally arrived, but its impact has been a little underwhelming. Although the previous titles in the series have blown critics away, 2014's Thief seems to have struggled in a climate of stealth games that it inspired. The granddaddy of the genre seems to have lost its impact in a world full of Splinter Cells, Assassin's Creeds, and the very similar but more refined Dishonored. The reviews have been mixed, but on the whole, positive. It's received a Metacritic score of 68%, but don't let that put you off. The game's difficulty settings really ramp up what it means to be a thief and add some serious challenge. It's definitely more fun than it's not, and if you love a good stealth game, a title so important would be an unfortunate oversight to miss. Thief is back. And although it might not have had the impact that it sent through the industry all those years ago, it's still a proficient stealth game. It's rooted in the space, so for those who won't consider a stealth game to begin with, stay clear of it. But for those with a taste for some sneaky kleptomania, this might be a pleasant appetizer.